is the Change Builds Authenticity podcast. I am your host, Dr. James Zetta James Thompson, who have been in the field of nursing for over 25 years. I am hoping that after this podcast, you will become transformed by stepping into authenticity. Get ready to unravel, walk in freedom, and renew your own spirit. Becoming authentic starts with walking in your truth. May the life that you live be an example of how you show up in the world. Our mission here at Change Builds Authenticity Podcast is CHANGE. It is the method used to help individuals transform their life. Change your mindset. Humble your spirit. Aim to achieve, accept, and adjust your life accordingly. Be nice to others. Be grateful and have an attitude of gratitude. Empower others by telling your story. We welcome the Epic Women of Color Conference founders and co-founders. Miss Dominique Hamilton. Yeah. Miss Annarisa Lynette Davis. And Miss Flo Walker Harris. Happy Black History Month. And today's conversation will help one learn more about the Epic Women of Color Conference. Let's dive right in. All right, ladies.
Excellent.
For coming on to the podcast. If you can go ahead and introduce yourself and let the audience know about what you've been up to and your other businesses that you also represent and how they can support you. Flo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Miss Flo Walker Harris, and I am one of the co-founders of EPIC. And I have also my own not-for-profit organization called FEED, Fire, Edifying, Empowering, and Developing. It is an opportunity to impact our community with multi-generational engagement and activities and programs that highlight who we are as a people and what we give back and pour into ourselves and others.
Great. Dominique.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am Dominique Hamilton. My organization is called Dance Connect Worldwide. We are a production and staffing house for everything dance and everything arts and entertainment. So if you need a lighting crew, a stage manager, a dancer, a singer, we got you covered. So that's what I do. I employ dancers and artists to stay employed, especially when they are not in full contract or not in full season. They can always come to Dance Connect and get a quick gig to put some extra money in their pockets. And it keeps everybody nice and connected in the industry.
Wow. And Miss Annarisa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Annarisa Lynette. I'm the CEO and founder of Praise Productions Incorporated. We're an arts-based organization housed on the south side of Chicago in the Brownsville community. And we have 3 platforms: a performing arts school for youth. So you have any youth interested in dancing or the performing arts, check out our website. We have a professional company comprised of all women of color, where we wish to galvanize the next wave of women of color in leadership in the arts, named Rise Pro Elite. You can check both of our groups out in our upcoming production, Complexions, which will be April 13th. And last, our third platform is our outreach platform, where we partner with Chicago Public Schools and other organizations to bring arts enrichment.
Wow, this is amazing. You are really out there doing the work, and I appreciate that. Can you explain to the audience why partnerships with other business owners are important and what you look for within each other to bring about the Epic Women of Color Conference?
I know who's going to say.
I was like, who's going to talk?
Whoever wants to go first.
I think collaboration is necessary. I think it's the foundation, first of all, where we come from as a people, as Black people, is community and collaboration. And we're bringing that back to the forefront of who we are as a culture, as a community, as a people. And so I'm so excited to partner with my sisters and their organization to bring EPIC, where we can share our resources, our knowledge base, to really have deep impact for our community and for women who are needing to be inspired and empowered. And I feel like we can do more together than we can apart. And I think that's what we really symbolize when coming together for the Epic Women of Color conference and experience.
Excellent.
Wow, great. Anybody else?
I think it's important that we also share our resources that we have. I think that all three of us, I know that I mentioned Feed, but I also have an organization called Flowfire, which is an arts based organization as well. I do a lot of independent work, and I also have a conference or convention that has to do with dance and bringing the competition world to our community. But the point of collaboration is all three of us have a part in the industry that has to do with dance, and we all three of us are able to share our resources so that we can grow and empower ourselves, empower each other. So it's always great, like Anarisa said, to collaborate because it allows us to be able to feed others with what we have. So my resources will feed Anarisa, and Anarisa will feed Dominique's. And so we'll be able to reach more in our collaboration.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Did you have anything to add, Dominique?
I think my sisters got it covered.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next question is, how did you conclude to name your conference the Epic Women of Color Conference?
So that was actually in a dream. Actually, it was actually in a dream. But Epic came about because we wanted to initially do a. So actually, it was three different organizations working on three different um, avenues, but intentionally, all of our um, vision and mission was kind of like aligned. So I was always doing feed experiences through my not-for-profit organization that dealt with women and or bringing women together, having impactful conversations. I wanted to have what was called a like sort of a conference, and I asked Miss Dominique, who does a wonderful job um, kind of bringing things together. And so when she was also working with Anarisa Davis, working with a night of excellence with I believe there was a night of excellence with your women. I'm
A seat at the table.
seat at the table. I keep saying a night of excellence because actually it is, but a seat at the table with women. And so it was Dominic's brilliant idea to bring us together, even though we have been working in the industry together, seeing each other, partnering up and working on other projects. It was her idea because she knew what I was doing and she knew what Anarisa was doing, and because she was helping us both through her project, she brought us together. And in 2023, we came together in January, and we actually brought it. We built the program or put everything together in 3 months. Um, I thought about calling it Epic. I didn't have an actual. I love acronyms, so I didn't really have a name for it. And then the vision came to me to say exploring possibilities of inner courage. So exploring the possibility of inner courage, which collaboration, the collaboration of all three of our visions and missions in our individual projects really feeds and really pours into what we've been doing for our women and our community.
Excellent. That was amazing. God always comes through the dreams.
Yes.
And he gives us the visions when it's very peaceful and quiet and no chaos is involved. God definitely, I can attest to everything that I've done in my life. That vision came through a dream, and I can see myself in the dream in the direction that God has given me. Through the dream, He allowed me to see my future. So when you can see it,
Yes.
and it came from God, you know that it's going to manifest. So
Yeah.
excellent work, ladies. I wanted to ask you, ladies, why should women come to participate in this conference?
I think that's such a loaded question.
Hmm.
Why should women come? So each year we have a different theme. And this year's theme is rested and reloaded.
Hmm.
In a time like this, politically, culturally, spiritually, we need this.
Yeah.
So we talked about the word rest, and we've heard about soft girl era and how that's been kind of trending. And it's not just about resting, kicking your feet up, getting your nails and your hair done. That too. But it's not about just a physical rest, it's a spiritual rest.
Yes.
You know, and we're only resting so that we can get up and continue to do the work. And that's
Yes.
how the second part of it is called reloaded. It's time to go. And so I think for any women that are at that breaking point, you know, women who have been doing a lot and need that moment of pause, need that moment of re-inspiration, validation that they're on the right track, encouragement, you know, this is the place to be.
Yeah.
The years prior, the first year we did, what was the first year? The title.
I think it was just epic, wasn't it? I was like,
It was
It
Women
was
of
the
Color
thing.
Conference.
The second year was Nations, Generations, and Legacy.
Right.
Exactly.
And so we're just kind of building upon that. You know, we talked about that and how we're breaking generational curses and we're passing on generational blessings. I
That's
think
right.
with that, it was the perfect transition into rested
Yes.
and reloaded now that we have, like we know who we are, we know what we're here to do. And it's just inspiring for them to go ahead and do that work. So it's so necessary. When you come to the conference, we're calling it an experience now. But formerly known as the conference, when you come, you just get filled up.
Yeah.
And as Black women, the way we work, I mean, on every front, you need this moment to get refueled. And so that's exactly what it is. You're around like-minded, like-spirited people, you know, most of the women I know at the conference, they believe in God, they believe in the Most High, they're directing, you know, their pathways. And so when you get around women like that, it's so powerful. It's so powerful what happens in that space. And it's hard to put it into words. But James, you've been there.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I am moved every time. And I think that every woman needs to experience this, which is the reason why I am an advocate for this conference. We do need to be filled up. You said it in all your words. And each day I try to make sure I tell somebody about the conference and they're like, oh, I'm going to come. So this is excellent. Thank you, Dominique. I wanted to ask, what does sisterhood mean to you outside of your current friendships and tribes?
I know for me, in this season, and it kind of started last year, you hear so many times that you want to be around like-minded people. And I know last year was a shift for me where I was like, I don't want to just be around like-minded people. I need to be around like-spirited people.
Yeah.
Because we could have the same, be thinking some of the same things, but if your spirit ain't right, you approaching it in a different way, in a different manner. And I think that's what I understood now. It's like, no, you need to be around like-spirited people. Because hey, a difference of thought is not always a bad idea. I don't need everybody to think like me, but I need you to make sure we're moving in the same spirit together. Because I feel like when you have that, it goes beyond just a simple collaboration. It's spirit led. We're going to, even if it's disagreements, we're still on here for a purpose. So we know how to still have a meeting of the minds and find that, that common chord. And I think that has to be a part of the sisterhood. And I think that's the thing that keeps you together. It's like, we're fighting for a purpose and we're moving for a purpose beyond ourselves. And we all have that same spirit, that giving spirit, that spirit of servitude. We're all leaders, but we also know true leadership is servitude. So making sure that we are properly serving others, serving each other, pouring into each other. And I think, that's the basis of this sisterhood and that foundation. And I think that's why when you come to the Epic Women of Color experience, why people are so moved and why they feel so pulled is because the spirit is there. And it starts with the leadership that we have to make sure that we are correct. So we can already set the atmosphere for change, for inspiration, for empowerment, and for yokes to be broken, during the time that we're together in March.
Excellent. Excellent. Anyone else?
I think one of the one of the things that I was going to say, it's the ability to be poured into and also to pour um out of, like, meaning that when you have sisterhood, that true sisterhood, there's no limitation to bearing of your soul, and also having the opportunity to someone to just hold you and just listen to you. You know what I'm saying? Sisterhood, I think sometimes we can take it for granted, and just say that that's a friend, but that having that intentional friendship, that those intentional conversations, those hard conversations, those sister girls that say, hey, that wasn't really a good move to make.
Mhm.
or we hear you, but listen to this way, or you know what I mean, and being able to be your authentic self in that space is really, really important. I think uh like one of the things that Annalisa stated is that how it changes through you, as you evolve, you understand the impact of what sisterhood means, and then you realize that it may not have been everyone, it could have been one person, and that one sister girl is who you cherish, because that is that one sister girl that you feel safe with, that you could open up to, that opens up to you, so that it changes with how you begin to evolve within yourself and how you look at yourself. So I think it continues to evolve for me, and then I'm cherishing the sisterhood that I am being surrounded by. And I think that when you come to a women of color experience, you realize that there's more sisterhood than you actually could have ever dreamed about, because they're sisters that you start to meet, people that you've never met before, and then you start making those connections. And I have women who've actually stayed connected after our first
Mhm.
2023 Women of Color Conference, which is now the experience.
Yeah, if I could just piggyback on Flo, for me, sisterhood, right now, especially, is accountability. It's major for me right now.
Mhm.
The last few years have been probably my most challenging years, stepping into motherhood and being a new wife. It's like a whole, it's serious.
Yeah.
And I've had to change and morph in so many ways, that he's just growing me. And so I think right now I can only keep certain people in my circle.
There
So
you
friend
go.
sisters that I did have, they're there, but they're kind of on the outer circle right now. Those who are close to me are, I'm very selective with that. So the
Mhm.
accountability is major for me in that how they're speaking, like the words that are coming out of their mouth, because words hold so much power.
Yeah.
And when I'm
Mhm.
down and I'm out, I don't need someone in my ear that's not
Mhm.
gonna be able to speak a word into me.
Yep.
I don't
Mhm.
need trauma bonders, right now.
Oh.
I need someone that's gonna elevate me and say, "Hey, girl, come on."
Yep.
We got we have
Exactly.
things to do, and then they're speaking the word, and so your foundation is so important. Yeah, and that's what sisterhood is for me right now.
Yep.
Excellent. Those are excellent points, and I really appreciate it. We do know that this is Black History Month, and we could have never made it this far without our ancestors who paved the way for us. So,
Yes.
what does Black History Month mean to you?
These are great questions, I have to admit,
Mhm.
but it makes you have to think about it, right? So just to give you a profound response. So I'm still thinking, because it's a lot for, like, I think what Black history meant to you when you were in school is different than what Black history means to you now, and
Mhm.
understanding who you
Um,
are, and whose you are, right? It's so
Mhm.
different than being commercialized
Mhm.
when you were growing up and you're like Black history, and now for me it's so profound, um
mm,
that it takes a minute, because you realize the lives that are either being taken away, the lives that are being impacted, um and the people that have voices when it comes to Black history and what it means. Um, I think that it I think that we are continuously creating history, right? So it's not always the people that are in the books. So it's also the individuals that are sitting right
Yeah.
here. We
Mm-hmm.
create her story, right?
Yeah.
History right now. So I think it goes deeper than what I once knew it. And for me, it's continuously learning about our people, about our generation, about our history, about our accomplishments and stuff like that. So,
Excellent.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Mhm.
I would just say, simply put, I feel like Black history is our lineage, it's our present, and it's our legacy. And so when I say lineage is knowing where we come from, we are a chosen people. We come from a royal priesthood. And when you understand that, it makes you move differently in your current state, your present. And then as you're moving in your present state, is making sure that you submit a legacy that can go beyond you for future generations.
Mm-hmm.
So it's ever moving, everlasting, ever evolving, and it's just that it's our lineage, it's our current state, and it's also our future and our legacy, and making sure that we keep the forward momentum of our people, our culture, and we really understand who we are as
uh-huh.
people, and how beautiful and how powerful we
Mm-hmm.
are. And when you understand that lineage and you start studying that,
Right.
you begin to represent that, you
Mm-hmm.
we make waves in this world. We make
Yep.
waves that are going to continue for generations, our
Mhm.
children, our grandchildren, and those even after us.
Yep.
Excellent. All
Mhm.
right. Anything else, you Dominique, or you good?
I'm good. I am
Okay, I think you answered it.
good.
Um, my next question is, how do you want women to feel when they leave this conference?
Mm.
Oh, for me, I think I've always wanted them to feel empowered, that
Mhm.
their ability to do anything that they want to do is possible, and and also that sisterhood and the community of women, we're so much stronger together than individually. And when we come together and we share our experiences and we're able to release, we're able to grow through those conversations and through those, you know, impactful and intentional conversations. It's so much more than just like you said, a workshop. I want them to be able to feel that they want to come back. Like that is the first thing. Like whenever they leave, they want to be able to say, "When's the next one?"
Mm.
Because they're excited to come back and return.
Mhm.
I'll say for me, it's in the title, Rested and Reloaded. That's how I want them to feel. I
Mm.
know a lot of the women that are already coming to the conference, my mom being one of them. I'm honoring her this year
Oh,
as an epic
excellent.
woman. And I just think about her journey and the weights that she carries. And I want her to have a moment to just rest.
Yep.
Mhm.
I want her to have this moment to just relax her shoulders, be poured into, loved on, so you can get up and keep walking. But she got a lot of little girls following behind her. So, yeah.
Excellent. I have to say that me attending the conference, I felt a sense of freedom.
Mm.
Right.
Freedom. My cup was refilled back up
Mm.
Yeah.
because it was very empty for all the work that I was doing in this life,
Mm.
um, and just moved.
Yeah.
Mm,
Hmm.
And that's
freedom.
a
I
really
love
good thing about being filled up. You know what I mean? Like when we, as women, we go through so much and our cups get empty.
Mm.
And to be filled up is really, really important. To be reloaded, like you said.
Excellent. I listen to many women, and I'm very surprised and sometimes heartbroken when I have women that have trust issues.
Mm,
They don't have sisters, and I don't mean biologically
Mm-hmm.
having sisters, but they are not able to call on other women.
hmm,
And to each his own. I really don't know. And Arisa said it very well. Sometimes it's the spirit, okay, that you have difficulty with being in presence and being in relationship with other women. How can this conference
hmm,
help other women and teach them how to grow in sisterhood?
hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like I will say this before I even speak to the event, like our experience. I know as a leader, just being a leader and constantly pouring and in this line of work, if you're in the work of people, we know people are going to people, right? And so
Mhm.
one thing I must do as a leader, I pray over my heart,
Mhm.
because as I mentioned, to be a true leader is to be a true servant, right? So you're always in service. And so you have to guard your heart and pray over your heart, because if you allow sometimes your experiences and some of the things that people do, it will harden your heart. And that's your superpower. That's what we
Mhm.
need as leaders. We lead from our heart space. We give from our heart space. We share empathy and compassion from our heart space. And so that's something that I do every morning. I pray over my heart and my mind. I pray over my mind that God gives me wisdom, so and discernment. So as I'm leading, I have the knowledge to make certain moves. I'm not acting out of my own self and flesh, but I also have that I pray over my heart, so he keeps it expansive. So even in those times where I get hurt or in those times of difficulty, I still have a softness in my heart for people, because I know that's who I'm called to, called to lead and called to serve. And I think the best way I do that via Epic, like I shared with Don one time, I was like, is through my actions. And I
Mhm.
hope walking into that space with that spirit and with those actions that I live every day, even outside of, March 8th, the Epic Women of Color experience, that same spirit moves throughout that space. So it's not something that is created and practiced at one event. Is something that's a lifestyle I lead throughout my entire life. So when I walk into that space, and we walk into that space, we're shifters in the atmosphere, and
Mhm.
and people feel that, and they see that practiced in real time. And I think that's what people feel, is the vulnerability, us being authentic with how we move within that space, because that's not something that we just do on one day. It's
Mhm.
like we lead throughout our every day leading up to that and afterwards.
Mm-hmm. And I think in that same vein of spirit, you have to, for me, I have to have a deep relationship with the Most High. That allows me to put my
Amen.
guard down when it comes to anybody. Because people,
Yeah.
like you said, they're going to people,
Yep.
you know, and that cannot be my reason for loving, or that can't be my reason for being a good sister, is because you were a good sister even to me. I got to love you regardless. And the
Mm,
only way I can
Mhm.
do is have a relationship with God, because He allows me to rest. He allows me to come out. I can be so vulnerable. I can cry to him. I can lay down with him. I can be comforted by him. He's our
Mhm.
provider. So if I can do all those things in my intimate space with God, then I'm allowing myself now to show up like that for other people.
mm,
So I think that's how I'm able to practice that in real life and make it applicable. It's about what I do in my quiet time with God.
Amen.
mm.
Amen. So, is there a dress code, and what kinds of activities should the women expect? And what's the date and time that they need to meet you all, and where?
Yeah.
The dress code. You know, you around Black women, so we gonna show up and show out. We're clothed in this melanin, so we can't help but be fine. Okay.
Yes, this is very much dressed to impress, and this is different. I want to make this distinguished. So last 2 years, it was a fuller day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, longer day, I'll say. It's still gonna be full. Longer day. In the top half of the conference, it was more activity based, more movement, and then the latter half was the dining experience. This year is a little bit different. We're wrapping it all into one big experience. And so, with that being said, we're not going to have time to do a quick change.
Okay.
So, what you come in with, what you walk in with, like that's your moment. So, walk in and have your moment on.
But you can kick the shoes off like Patti LaBelle to get comfortable. So don't worry about that. So wear your heels, but know at some point we kicking them off because we need to ground it too.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And this is happening March 8th between 6 and 10. Yes. That's our time. It's from 6 to 10. Yes. And it'll be a wonderful experience. Yes. Sorry.
I'm sorry. This is our last week for the early bird special too.
Yes. Our early bird special ends Valentine's Day. So get it for your sister, get it for your mom, get it for your auntie, get it for your girlfriend. So we can make sure that we are all there having a wonderful night of experience.
And one last, you all honor individuals at this particular conference.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
The leading ladies. So each year, each one of our organizations honors 3 women of color who are doing phenomenal things within their community, within their respective fields, their households. And they're from the arts to corporate to family life. We just want to highlight and celebrate women. I think so many times we already know we hold and carry so many hats, but we don't always get acknowledged and celebrated. And so this is our time where we have the leading ladies, where we celebrate, we highlight them for all the amazing things that they are doing. So you'll be hearing about them. We'll be doing a release on our social media. So you look forward to knowing those grand individuals who will be highlighting, but then also by the end of the night, everyone's a leading lady.
Absolutely.
Because everyone is leading in some fashion. So we also spread the wealth. So it goes even beyond our honorees. Every single woman who's there, every attendee is going to feel honored, celebrated, seen, and heard in that space.
Excellent, excellent.
Just as you were the first year.
Oh yeah,
I was leading ladies too.
Yes,
it was an amazing experience. I was not expecting any of this. This was laid out. We had a blast, ladies, and I was so honored and moved. So thank all of you all. That was the best experience, and to receive an award for the work that God has even blessed you to do, the gifts that you have, to just do it in the form of giving. And not expecting anything, and this just said won't.
There
it is. So I was felt very honored, and it was a big deal for me. Thank you. Finally, this podcast is all about change. What changed you in your walk to become more authentic?
Oh, that's a good question.
I will say this most recent, me having a conversation with God and him telling me how I need to get disciplined. And I was like, most people don't describe me as a ill-disciplined person. But when he revealed areas of where I needed to grow and grow as a woman, grow as a sister, a friend, a future wife and mother. And I think that really sparked that recent change. I would say most recently what I'm living right now. And I think always trying to just evolve into my better and higher self. Because I feel like until I take my last breath, I want to continue to evolve and grow and be the servant that God has created me to be and fulfill the assignment and purpose that's on my life. And in order to do that, I have to constantly evolve and grow, within my own self, so then I can properly do those things that God has before me. So yeah, like that's what I'm on right now, is becoming disciplined and just a better Anarisa every single day.
Awesome.
Excellent. Anyone else?
I think for me, I'm my walk with God, my walk with the higher power, my walk with the Holy Spirit has really is really growing because I'm learning to listen. And I think that a lot of times, it was on me to say, okay, I got this. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure that out. And I'm listening to him saying, let me do what I do. And I just need you to be still. And trusting that he has me, trusting that he is not going to let go of me. And being more obedient.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep.
I felt that flow.
Yeah.
For me, it's a light thing. It's funny that Flo wanted to name this conference "I Am the Light" or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It was about the light, though. And I was like, "Oh yeah," because
last year,
and then God had different plans for this conference. But I will say, going back to that, that's a part of, I would say, my transformation is knowing that I really am a light, and whatever room I walk in, anytime I feel like it's being dim, which it has several times, I get tired of feeling that it's an unsettling in my spirit. When I know I'm not being authentically me all the time, I can feel it. It's like, I just feel uncomfortable. And so now I'm like, okay, I can't be in spaces where I can't fully be all of who I am, because it's not even about me, because I have that light, and because I have that light, I have to share it out for so many women. Like this conference, we need each other's lights, and so if we sitting back and we're not really using what God called us to use, what are we doing, So, that's kind of been my biggest thing is really just showing up as all of me, being obedient.
Love that.
And then that is absolutely excellent, ladies. I am grateful for your amazing time. I want to thank all of you for joining the Change Builds Authenticity podcast. I want you to like, share, comment, or bring anybody to be a guest. Happy Black History Month. Y'all ladies, give yourself a round of applause. Woo!
Hey.
Keep up the amazing work. I am absolutely proud of being around you all, proud of the work that you're doing in the community. May God bless you and continue to bless you in all your endeavors. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you March 8th.
Yes, March 8th.
Grab your tickets. Grab your tickets.
Or beat us down.
Come on.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all, ladies.
I love it.